I wanted to talk about the rise of males in female sports. So this is probably going to be one of the. This is actual proof. Every video you've watched of mine, you can disagree with me. You can say, "Oh well, yeah, things aren't that bad." But look at this, man. There's no way you can look at the thing with males. You know, this whole transgender thing, this LGBT thing, and not connect it to what is going on. The delusion, the entitlement, everything that women are doing to basically destroy themselves. This is like kind of like the epicenter of it, because this is where the ultimate, the foolishness, the stupidity. This is like the epicenter of it. This belief that women are equal to men can be disproven just by this particular topic. So sports have been traditionally, honestly, women's sports are actually new. Like women's sports, I think, really only became like popular. Like I think there was like there's a movie called League of Their Own where, you know, obviously during the suffrage movement, women got their own baseball league. It's a pretty good film. I mean, be honest, I hate feminism, and kind of this is what it ultimately led to, but at the time, like, it made sense. Okay, women competing against women. That's fair. That's fine. Honestly, and it entertained people, and there was like a competitiveness with it, and I see nothing wrong with gender separated sports. It's fair. It's, it goes by biological laws. There's none of this ridiculous crap. But now what we have is men and women deciding to be, because of this transgender mental illness epidemic that we're in. Like ultimately we're in, it's mental illness, man. It's mental illness. It's delusion. It's delusional to think that men and women are the same, and that, because it's just proven time and time again. Women competing against an all-male team, like for instance, like retired people that are my age. I'm around 30. And I am stronger than pretty much any female, even as an older, I'm not tall. I'm a small male, and I can probably beat the shit out of like a woman that's 6 foot tall. Like, women are weak. That's a fact. So like that's if you're listening to my channel, like, this is the truth. I don't give a shit what's politically acceptable. I don't give a shit about the politically correctness, wokeness. It's all bullshit. To give you this delusional version of reality where it's like women are somehow equal to us, which they're not. Women aren't. If they were, we wouldn't be in this situation. If women were equal, they wouldn't need to fight for equal rights. Does that make sense? If they were really equal, we wouldn't have ever come to this bullshit. And so, what you have is sports being filled, female sports, basically males who are failures. You have this where they're cheating. They're going into women's sports because they're biologically stronger. I mean, if this doesn't prove the difference between sexes and debunk the entire leftist woke ideology, like this but if you can't look at it objectively, you're like, oh well, you're discriminating against these men that come into sports. No, we're not. It's just like the fact that they're not the same. You don't see it's funny how it's happening with men, where they're like coming in now. It's becoming acceptable for men to dress like women, which was never fucking acceptable. It never will be acceptable. But we've gotten to this delusional reality where we're somehow having to accept it and be like, oh, it's fine to be transgender. It's fine to just cut your balls off. Like, no, it's not fine. It's horrible. It's evil. It's disturbing. These people, I have no problem with people existing that are transgender. Just don't invade. Why do you need to be in where everybody has? If you're not binary, okay, then don't be binary. Hang out with people who are non-binary. Hang out in your classification. Oh, you identify as a girl and you're a guy? Okay, you go into that classification. Why can't you compete against each other? You all the weirdos can compete against all the weirdos. All the people that can't figure out their own fucking identity. Why do you have to invade our identities? Why do you have to like ruin it for everybody else? How is that equal? How is that fair? How is that not discriminatory? Because that's what it is. It's discriminatory. It's actually the opposite. This DEI crap, all of this shit is actually very discriminatory. It's very racist. It's very genderist, whatever ism you can think of. It's all the things that they talk about. That's the irony of it. The irony of women, males competing in female sports. And the reason it's not talked about, like no one would put a female in a male sport. Could you imagine if one of these gender non-binary whatever, and I know some girls that have turned into males or identify as males even though they're still fucking women. We have to call them a him, a she, a him. And I just don't, like, whenever I hear this shit, I literally am like, this is mental illness. This is insane. This is insanity. I'm sorry. I do not believe in this shit. I will never agree with it. You can cancel me. You can fucking say whatever you want. Drag my name all over the place like that song said, because I am at the point where I don't care anymore. Like Phil Collins says. Like, that's how all men should be. Like, we should not give a fuck about this bullshit. Like, this is so stupid. So grow the fuck up. Like, realize what's right and what's wrong. This is wrong. This is wrong. You wouldn't put women versus men fighting like as genders like normal people, but because if somebody just identifies, like if I identify as a tree, I'm not a tree. So this insanity this is probably the most stupid issue. This is like idiocracy. The fact that this is an issue at all, because this just shows that the Mouse Utopia experience is true. And if you don't believe me, look up that topic. Look up Universe 25 Mouse Utopia, and it has to do with this shit. This is something going on, man. Something biologically is wrong. something mentally is wrong, because if we can't even decide on what gender we are, man, like that is literally like the basis of all of our identities. And the thing that's disturbing about the LGBT thing is that these people just want to change their identity every day. They want to be like, oh, I'm just going to change my identity. It's a movement. It's an ideology. It's like a religion. It's not like these people, and it's only recently happened where there's just been all of a sudden this increase in people who are gay, all these people increasing who are LGBT and transgender and all this. It's a movement. It's an ideology. It's like a religion. It's like, oh, okay, you got to get your balls off and become part of this. It's a community. That's what draws people to it. And it's unfortunately very evil. Like, what's wrong with being normal? What's wrong with just being a man and a woman? Like, what's wrong with, wanting to have children? All of these ideologies are against that. They're against anything concrete. They're against the pillars of society. And the thing is, gender and identity are a pillar of sanity in society. Like, they're it's a pillar of like basic thing. And the thing is, in nature, this shit doesn't happen. You don't see fucking animals doing this shit, or maybe fucking like lizards or micro, like apparently there's some animals that change gender, but it's like, why should we do that? Like ridiculous ideology, a very evil ideology. So wake the hell up. Look at what's going on right now. Men and women are fucking different. We are different. Men are stronger for a reason. Women are feminine, and they're meant to fucking take care of children. That's what women are for. That's what men are for. Men provide. These roles are our purpose, and when we're in them, we are happy. That's why we're unhappy. Everyone's like, oh, well, happiness isn't. No. Gender roles are actually what's important, because no one's fucking happy right now. Depression's at all-time highs. I think a lot of it is technology. I fucking hate technology, to be honest, because I feel like this is something to do with technology too. Like, because this shit was not happening before. Before we had all this fucking bullshit. Before we had Facebook, before we had Instagram, we had all this stuff that we don't fucking need. We don't need social media. We don't need the internet. The internet is a luxury. All of this is a luxury. We don't need any of this shit. And the sooner you realize that it's all bullshit, that it's not fucking real,